You made Frenchie mad now. So I don't know. This is a bit of one of those nothing burgers of a story. But you folks will probably want me to talk about it because it sounds significant. Things that sound significant, but probably don't matter very much. So there's this whole thing where Europe, or France specifically, is going to be trying to get off the American tech stack. And you're like, wait a minute, I thought they got off the American tech stack 20 years ago. And it's like, yeah, they tried to do it 20 years ago. Didn't work out so well for them back then. Like, they just failed it. They just failed for their own reasons. So anyways, the big thing right now is France is, again, really tired of the United States. They're tired of Trump. They're tired of the United States. They're tired of big tech. They're just tired of all of it. France to ditch Microsoft Windows as Europe's war on American tech rages on. Wow. Doesn't that make us sound like Europeans have agency? Aw, that's adorable. Europeans think they have agency in their own life. That's so cute. It makes my heart warm. You keep thinking that. Anyway, so with this, France announced that it will move some of its government systems off of Windows and onto Linux. Again, some being the operative word. Details on the change are a bit sparse, but TechCrunch reports that it will start with machines used in France's Interministerial Directorate for Digital Affairs. There is no timeline in place, yep. So some systems will be migrated at some point in time. AKA never. In place for weaning off Windows, but it's clear the government would like to feel less beholden to American firms that are increasingly stretching their monopolistic tendencies across the border. In a translated statement, French Minister David Emile called the move to Linux part of an attempt by the nation to, quote, regain of our digital destiny. He explained that France can, quote, no longer accept that our data, our infrastructure, and our strategic decisions depend on solutions whose rules, pricing, evolution, and risks we do not control, and said digital sovereignty is not optional. Well, you know, there's one thing I will give the Europeans. They know how to talk. The only people in the world worse than implementing shit than the Americans are the Europeans. The Europeans, they say very flowery things that sound very impressive. And then, I don't know, they go eat croissants or something. You know it's true. So anyways, why I find this to be interesting, especially coming up right now, right? So you got the U.S. and the war with Iran. You have the U.S. trying to get at NATO. You have the U.S. doing any number of things. And so that sounds really cool and sexy right now. Look, the French are standing up to the American imperialists. And again, isn't it funny? Like, the French are like, those imperialists. Really, Frenchie? Really, Frenchie? You're going to say shit about imperialism? How's Algeria going for you? Anyways, so again, this sounds very good. The issue is, I do believe it was about 20 years ago. Was it Belgium? Belgium was going to get off the Microsoft stack. And it actually made more sense back then. It was a little less Djangoistic, a lot less Djangoistic, a lot less propagandic. And basically the idea being is, Linux is open source. You don't have to pay for the licenses. Again, there's just a lot of good stuff about Linux. I'm not snarky about Linux. And so they started migrating over, getting rid of Microsoft Office, going with, I think it was Open Office at the time, and the whole 9 yards. And that was supposed to be one of the death knells for Microsoft. The issue is there's something called total cost of ownership, TCO, and there's also something called legacy. Again, one of the things I talk about with the US losing the AI arms race with China is the problem is once people deploy solutions, they become legacy. As soon as a server hits your fucking data center, it ain't ever gonna go away again. Right? Becomes what's called legacy, right? The shit that's already there. And once you have systems, right, deployed, and they become legacy, it is very hard to rip them out. There's things like contracts you have to worry about. There's interoperability that you have to worry about. There's things like institutional knowledge. Again, one of the great things about Windows is damn near any technology professional that's become a technology professional in the past 30 years can probably administer a Windows server, Right, that's just the fact of the matter. And again, Microsoft has an incredible ecosystem as far as the enterprise world goes. So before, like with the ecosystem, it was like the certification program. Like I got my MCSE and NT4. Jesus Christ, 26 years ago. Anyways, we're not going to go into that one. Anyway, so they had a great education program back in the day. They had great support services back in the day, plus all of their stuff worked together. And so that was a very coherent, that was an ecosystem that you could just go and you could just deploy. Could you roll your own with Linux and all this other stuff? Yeah. But, you're kind of having to reinvent the wheel in many ways. The curious thing now, again, with Microsoft is under Satya Nadella. One of the big things for him is really pushing IaaS, infrastructure as a service world. And so that's where they have Azure. And so Azure can seamlessly be connected into your digital infrastructure. So, you have your local infrastructure, you have your local cloud, you have the public cloud, you can create hybrid cloud, just all kinds of like amazing shit. And it just fucking works. You just put everything in, it gets configured, and away you go. And so I do believe it was Belgium, again, 20 years ago. And that's what I say, getting to be about 50. The hard part about getting to be about 50 is like, I think I've heard these stories before. I think we've already seen these stories before. Anyways, so I tried about 20 years ago, and then they scrapped it. They scrapped it a long time. Like the program got scrapped a long time ago because of total cost of ownership and legacy, support issues, and the whole 9 yards. And so that'll be the interesting thing with France trying to, rid themselves of Windows, is one of the real questions is going to be is can they practicably do it? And are they willing to accept the additional costs that will entail? Again, migrations and hardware and all of that kind of stuff. When you take a look at this, what they're saying is they're going to migrate some systems at some fucking point in time. That sounds like politicians pretending that they have an ounce of power in the situation. Can you migrate some systems? Yeah. But again, with all of this kind of stuff, one of the things I talked about before is the real pain point in the technology world. The real god-awful thing in the technology world is always going to be migrations. It's not initial deployments. It's not even really upgrades, right? Those can suck. But you're dealing with initial deployment, you're dealing with a clean slate. So anything you deploy is better than what you had the day before, right? Doing upgrades are a pain in the ass, but again, you're basically doing upgrades. The thing is with migrations, right? You have to pay a lot of money. You have to pay a lot of money and spend a lot of resources basically to change from this stack to this stack. And after you spend all that money and after you use all those resources, most likely you're going to get a worse solution. I mean, that's just kind of practically how it is. Like, it's one of those things. In 5 years, it may end up being better. But initially, again, integrations that you've been using, software that you've been using, workflows that have been created over decades, all of that kind of stuff has to get ripped apart. It all has to get rebuilt again. And so again, it very much is like you've just spent millions of dollars on this migration. Your employees and your customers after that literally see a worse product, a worse environment. And you have to argue, well, it may be worse now, but in 5 years, once this is what everybody is used to, it will be better. Right? And that just takes so much. Again, it takes money, it takes resources, it takes fucking willpower, a will to actually do it, and the whole 9 yards. And that's where you see with Europe, right? Europe is right? There has been empires. They're land of dead empire. Oh my god, like what was it? When I was backpacking, it was horrible. This was over 20 years ago. It was so horrible, it was true. Hey, Europeans, you want to know how we really feel about you? So I took the ferry over from Roscommon. No, I went to Roscommon. Anyways, from Ireland to France, and I was with this American guy there. And we got to France, and he was a bit of a dipshit anyway. Anyways, we were walking around, and then he realized everybody spoke French there. They didn't really speak English, and then he got really mad. He got really mad. He thought he was going to be going to Euro Disney. And then he wound up going to France, basically. And that's kind of how he looked at Europe, was Euro Disney. I think that's how we all kind of look at Europe nowadays. Like, wow, it's really pretty. Now let's go to talk to the Chinese people. They're actually building the world. But anyways, I mean, that sounds horrible, but think about this. Like, if you're actually going to get off the Microsoft Windows American stack, which I completely agree with. No snark there. I completely agree with doing that. But you fuckers don't have the willpower to do it. You probably don't have the fucking wherewithal to do it. Again, where is the fucking AWS of Europe? Where is the Google of Europe? Where is the OpenAI of Europe? Or the Microsoft of Europe? Or the Apple of Europe? Any one of the... Hey, we created Skype. Yes. You created Skype. Again, thank you. Skype did change the world. We appreciate Skype. We appreciate Skype. I don't know. So we'll see how it goes. Probably not going to go anywhere. Probably not going to go anywhere. And that is a detriment to Europeans. Dear Europeans, say it with me. Yankee, go home. One of these days, I'm gonna be able to teach Europeans how to say those words. I want us to go home, you want us to go home, and your politicians really don't want us to go home. So yeah. Anyways, I don't know. That's kind of some rambling thoughts. Done it before. Again, take a look at it. I do believe it was Belgium. Belgium was going to do the whole migration to Linux. They failed. Total cost of ownership, legacy thing. I think other European countries also wanted to do it. Again, they failed. Total cost of ownership, legacy thing. We've seen this game before. Again, you've got to have the wherewithal to do it. You have to have the the moral courage. Fucking Europeans with moral courage. Jesus Christ, that makes me giggle. Anyways, you gotta have moral courage. And you also have to have options. You have to have possibilities. And that's one of the things your politicians have robbed you of too, is like what are you gonna go to? Okay, you're gonna dump AWS, you're gonna dump Microsoft, you're gonna dump and fucking replace it with what? Hamster wheels? Jesus, I'm a bastard today. Anywho, it's true. It's true. You know it's true. So what do you think about this? What do you think about France migrating some computers at some point to Linux? Does that kind of sum up your view of Europe? Anyways, put your thoughts down below.